Damn, they're cooking them right now. Bro, this is awesome. What is happening? CBS mornings will like cut propaganda, but then also this, which is weird. Like, what is this? Is this Democracy Now? Anheuser-Busch CEO talked about the Bud Light boycotts, but apparently avoided all of it. His company's response and comeback
Decades,
strategy.
Bud Light was America's top-selling beer before being dethroned by Modelo back in May. Now, this came after a boycott of Bud Light and its parent company, Anheuser-Busch, by some consumers. The controversy, I know you've heard all about it, began after trans social media star, that's Dylan Mulvaney, posted a video on Instagram, this was in April, showing the company had sent her personalized Bud Light cans. It was all part of an online promotion. Anheuser-Busch then faced more backlash for its handling of the boycott. Still, the company says it remains the country's #1 brewer, with brands like Budweiser and many craft breweries under its umbrella. Anheuser-Busch U.S. CEO, that's Brendan Whitworth, we're happy to say, joins us at the table live and in color for an exclusive interview. Number one, we're glad to have you here. Many people in your position, Mr. Whitworth, would be running for the hills at this point. Because since April, you all have faced a lot of incoming. How and why did it go so off the rails? Because that certainly wasn't your intention when you did one can to one person.
It's been a challenging few weeks. And I think the conversation surrounding Bud Light has moved away from beer, and the conversation has become divisive. And Bud Light really doesn't belong there. Bud Light should be all about bringing people together. And there's been impact on the business, and I think that's publicly covered on Bud Light specifically.
Yeah, so what was your intention? Take us to the beginning. What was your intention? What were you all trying to do here? And you've done this before, these promotional campaigns.
Yeah, it was, just to be clear, it was a gift, and it was one can. But for us, you know, as we look to kind of the future and we look to moving forward, we have to understand.
Bud Light CEO, say you got one can. Do it. Do it. Do it. The American Republican Party and its watchers, Republican content enjoyers, got one can.
Understand the impact that it's had, and like I said, you know, that impact has taken place. But it's the impact on our employees, the impact on our consumers, and as well the impact on our partners. And I think one thing that I'd love to make extremely clear is that impact is my responsibility. And as the CEO, everything we do here, I'm accountable for.
Given the moment we're in, this moment in America with trans issues at the top of a Republican social or conservative political agenda, knowing what you know now, if you could go back, would you send this can to this one person again?
There's a big social conversation taking place right now, and big brands are right in the middle of it.
Dude, there's no world in which, like, this kind of capitulation to psychotic reactionaries is reasonable, okay? Like, imagine if there was enough momentum against black people or miscegenation, right? Which wasn't that long ago. Like, there was this level of backlash towards miscegenation, right? Like, imagine if Bud Light at the time chose to give a fucking beer can to a interracial couple, okay? And then the Republicans, or at the time, like the conservative movement, decided, like, fuck this, we're burning it to the ground. Do you think it would be an adequate thing? Do you think it would be a valuable thing? Do you think it would be a just thing to immediately capitulate to the fucking reactionary psychopaths and turn around and say, you know, we really fucked up by giving one fucking beer can to some random trans influencer, which everybody freaked out about? This sets up a very terrifying precedent that Republicans can get everybody invested in whatever kind of mania that they believe in. I hate that. Back then, you're talking Dems, though. I mean, Dems and Republicans. Back then, politics was a little bit different. Even if we're talking about pre-Southern strategy, there was still plenty of fucking racist Republicans and plenty of racist, even more racist Democrats. It was more so, politics was more localized than the two-party system that we have now. But it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get into like more confusing. I'm not going to get into the more confusing minutia of like American politics. and how it directly followed whatever the means of production was in a particular area. So the point is this. These people on the right are becoming increasingly more unhinged. Okay? They're becoming increasingly more unhinged. You can't fucking listen to what they're doing and saying and take it seriously. Okay? You can't fucking do that. Because the very same people that are losing their minds over like trans people existing, or like Bud Light trying to expand its market share to the demographic of like Dylan Mulvaney fans, are the very same people that also think like satanic pedophilia is happening at state schools, okay? Because teachers are sometimes gay. Like, how are we going to legitimize their psychotic perspectives? I hate this notion that American exceptionalism is cultivated. I've talked about this a lot, where we think that every single person, every single American has a unique perspective that deserves to be heard and taken seriously by virtue of an American person uttering said words. That's not the case. That's not true. People need to be told to shut the fuck up. People need to be told that they are wrong all the time. They should not be coddled. They should not be babied, and they should not be listened to. Okay? If only there were more debates. How are you going to debate someone who's telling you that like satanic pedophilia is happening at schools? You're going to say, no, it's not happening. And then they're going to fucking give you some insane cherry pick data. Okay? So then they won the conversation. What's up? Is that the case? Like, I do debate from time to time, but do you think that that solves anything? Do you think that that solved anything?
And it's not just our industry or Bud Light. It's happening in retail. It's happening in fast food. And so for us, what we need to understand is, deeply understand and appreciate, is the consumer and what they want, what they care about, and what they expect.
For the record, like, I'm not even talking about them being like Nazis or anything. I'm talking about them being insane, okay? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to call me ableist, you can. But, like, I'm sorry. I can't be sitting here legitimizing people who are mentally ill and have made that mental illness their only form of politics, okay? You're insane. You're hallucinating. Why the fuck should I legitimize your hallucinations? Like, it's crazy. What are we doing? You're not supposed to literally make the village idiot be the leader, okay? You're supposed to just look at it and go, that's the village idiot. We're moving on. You're not supposed to go, hold on, let the village idiot cook.
From big brands.
So this is part of why you're getting it from all sides, because I asked you, would you do it again? And people on the trans rights side of things, supporting that community, want you to say, yes, of course. We want that fortitude. And people on the right would criticize you for saying yes. So where are you on the issue? I mean, was this a mistake?
You know, Bud Light has supported LGBTQ since 1998. So that's 25 years. And as we've said from the beginning, we'll continue to support the communities and organizations that we've supported for decades. Mm-hmm. But as we move forward, you know, we want to focus on what we do best, which is brewing great beer for everyone, listening to our consumers, being humble and listening to them, making sure that we do right by our employees, take care and support our partners, and ultimately make...
Bro, this is so funny. Bro, this is literally Kamala Harris. I just realized Kamala Harris does CEO speak.
Make an impact in the communities that we serve.
So you did point out that Anheuser-Busch has in the past supported the queer community. In fact, you had these cans in 2019 that were rainbow bottles that were sold in stores all across the country. But the political arm of Anheuser-Busch has donated to anti-LGBTQ plus politicians. So where do you...
Damn, they're cooking them right now. Bro, this is awesome. I can't believe... What is happening? CBS Mornings will like cut propaganda talking about how like an American Navy SEAL should have the right to kidnap like an Afghan child. But then also this, which is weird. Like, what is this? Is this Democracy Now? Okay. Is this Juan Guaido? Oh my God. Not Juan Guaido. Juan Gonzalez. What's happening? I've never seen this. Democracy Now!, The World, and News Report.
Stand, and where does the company stand on queer rights?
You know, we support politicians that support our business. And when we say that, we talk
The War and Peace Report, The World and Peace Report, The War and Peace Report. I'm sorry, my brain is, listen, 3 p.m., okay? At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And by 3 p.m., my brain is mush. Okay? You don't want your brain to be mush at the top of the hour? All you need to do is subscribe, baby. You can do that for $5. You can do that for free with a Twitch Prime. You can do that by getting gifted a sub if you're lucky. Okay? Is that medical advice? Yeah, totally. I'm a doctor. Shut up, Axel. Thank you for the 5. Get the subs live. 5 people who no longer see the ads at the top of the hour.
Talk about things like things that work for the industry, allow us to grow the business, allow us to employ more people, and really help drive the economy.
You said at one point I heard you say, we're listening, we hear you. What did you hear, and how has it affected your employees? I'm curious about how they're feeling and how they're dealing with all of this.
Our employees, we have 65,000. If you look at the 18,000 Anheuser-Busch employees, and you look at the 47,000 Anheuser-Busch wholesaler employees, and they're full of pride and they're full of commitment. And so it's really a privilege and it's humbling to have the opportunity to lead the organization. When you say listening, you know, I've been out to many of the impacted markets. My team has been out to many of the impacted markets. And over the last month, we've talked to over 100,000 consumers. And their feedback is very clear.
What is it?
The feedback is to reinforce what Bud Light has always meant to them, which is good times, goodwill, and easy enjoyment. And we have that all packed inside of our summer campaign that we launched last week. We're in the middle of the NFL. I know Nate's not here, but we're in the middle of our NFL campaign that'll be out in a few weeks. It's right there. And I think the fact remains that millions and millions of consumers enjoy Bud Light each and every day.
But
and
they're
they do
still mad, though, Brendan, because the sales have dropped. How are you handling that? I mean, as CEO,
Did you just dodge a political donation question? He didn't. He said, we're donating to politicians that help us expand our business. You just didn't hear it because he's doing a decent job as a CEO. His job is to literally say, you can't fucking sit there and be like, yeah, of course we donate to homophobic politicians. Like, have you seen American politics? We want to deregulate the marketplace. We want to deregulate. We want to unwind any limited amount of labor restrictions or labor protections that we have in this country. And Republicans are the ones who want to do it as openly as possible. That's what he's saying. I'll translate it from CEO speak to like for you to understand.
I want to know what this was been like for you when you've had so much vitriol on all sides. Your sales are dropping. People, you know, we have people firing guns at Bud Light cans. I mean, it's just gotten really off the chain, crazy.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. Bud Light is not for LGBT people. It's for my HVAC business owning cousin's 4th DUI. That's not even true. LGBT people can also, this is 2023. LGBT people can also be your cousin who has a 4th DUI. I think a lot of people forget that now. Like, that's not how that works. Which is why Bud Light thought, you know, there won't be that much backlash. Nobody really gives a shit. We'll just fucking do some LGBT pro LGBT marketing.
Yeah.
So how are you grappling with that, handling that?
I think it's the impact, honestly, on the employees that weighs most on me. But again, as I mentioned, seeing the pride and the commitment that they have working on behalf of a 165-plus-year-old American institution is what gives us energy as we look to move forward and focus on what we do best.
Yeah, it's so much bigger than a business story.
It is so much bigger than a business story. And I know this new campaign, this new ad campaign is going to focus on the people behind the beer. They've faced, you know, confrontations just for driving a Bud Light truck. If you're a distributor, you face confrontations for selling the beer.
And
there have been bomb threats.
Which is
the LAPD had to do a sweep through a brewery in Los Angeles, right? This is all happening. So when you have these conversations with these folks, I mean, I imagine some frank words are exchanged. They're upset. What do you say back? And is there any financial assistance?
Yeah, here's the thing. Okay? Bro, you look at a situation like that where people are legitimately doing terrorism threats. Okay? And your answer isn't like one-sided. Your answer isn't to like just basically say, no, this is like terrorism. Everybody needs to calm the fuck down. It's one beer can. Like, you don't give a shit about this, okay? Worry about your own life. Worry about the things that genuinely impact you, and not one fucking can of beer with Dylan Mulvaney's face on it, you absolute psychopath. Instead of saying that, he's like, oh, well, you know, there were some disagreements. It was really divisive. Yeah, divisive for who? One side that doesn't give a shit one way or another, okay? Because it's not like getting Dylan Mulvaney's face on a fucking beer can means like trans rights are somehow magically coming to the United States of America. So no one gives a fuck about that side, okay? On that side, no one cares. The other side is like one can of beer with Dylan Mulvaney's face on it. I'm going to do terrorism. I just don't understand how you could just sit there and still capitulate to the fucking insane, unjustifiable demands of the psychotic white supremacist mob that's foaming out their mouths and doing threats of terror.
Assistance to them.
Well, we announced a couple weeks ago or last week, we are announcing investment for our frontline employees and their employment, as well as financial support for our wholesalers.
Has that started?
That has started.
The money's going out. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And when you look at the organization, I mentioned it's 65,000 people when you put it all together. Mm-hmm. And if you extend it even a little bit further, it includes American farmers, the folks that make our high quality ingredients. And the campaign is all about celebrating them. Yeah. And again, these are farmers, these are brewery workers, these are drivers, merchandisers, sales reps, everybody that brings our industry to life and our business to life each and every day, and it's what makes it tick.
So how much is this marketing boo-boo, whatever you want to call it, costing Bud Light in the end, with the drop in sales, with the financial assistance, with the new ad campaign? I mean, you roll all that together, it sounds like tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars?
We're focusing on investing behind the brand right now. So we're actually increasing the investment on Bud Light 3 times this year as we move forward.
I know you say you're moving forward, and I think that's the right attitude. I get it. But what was the most difficult part for you navigating? You've been CEO for the past 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. What has this been like for you?
It's been, what's weighed on me the most has been, as I mentioned,
your employees.
The employees.
A little more gray in the beard.
But you
are. A little more, yes, but I think it's been coming for a couple
of
years already, even before this.
Brendan, we should point out that you're a former United States Marine, and you were also at the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA.
Correct.
So you know a little bit about stress, just a tiny bit.
Just a little bit.
How did you go from the CIA to Anheuser-Busch?
I thought the highest calling that anybody can have is serving the country. But for personal reasons, made the decision after 8 years in service of the country to move into business. I worked for PepsiCo for a number of years, and I came here 10 years ago, and I've been in this position for 2 years.
You still like this?
Dude, oh my God. Someone should tell, like, all the conservative cranks that this guy is trying to homify your children through beer because he's a part of the CIA. And it's a government CIA plot to make the kids gay. You know? Dude, that's fire.
This job?
I love this job, and I love the company. And it really is, as I mentioned, an American institution. And it's really, to me, 1 degree of separation away from the United States, the American flag.
I love this job.
And so even though I'm not...
I love the military. I love the CIA. And I love turning your kids gay.
...in the country anymore, I still feel like I have an opportunity to support the country. And that's exactly what Anheuser-Busch gives us the opportunity to do.
And you're feeling you'll get through this?
Absolutely.
People still like beer. They like it a lot.
Yeah.
People love beer, and I think we're on the doorsteps of...
People love Bud Light.
We're on the doorsteps of July 4th weekend,
That's
which
right.
is an absolutely fantastic weekend for beer, where we see it
right.
make its place into moments that matter to all of our consumers.
All right.
God, he's such a fucking CEO, dude. What, in your view, made this decentralized boycott work? Mental illness? And also, like, people are talking about it like they fucking got destroyed, but, like, the hilarious part about it is that the beer brand that has overtaken Bud Light is still an AB InBev beer brand. This decentralized boycott didn't work. Terrorism did. Yeah, also they kind of did that too. But it wasn't just like boycott led by a couple random people on Twitter. I mean, this was like the entire right-wing infrastructure, including politicians that got involved with it. You know what I mean? Like Dan Crenshaw, Ted Cruz, like actual Republican politicians were like immediately like, we got to boycott Bud Light. You know what I mean? It was fucking psychotic.